Welcome back to the channel. I'm Mike with Northwest School of Fly Fishing, the old fish hobo, and I'm here today on a nice river, nice sunny spring day for February. And I want to talk to you today about a concept in fly fishing called economy of time. But first I want to tell you, please subscribe if you like this kind of videos that I'm doing and you're getting something out of it and you enjoy those. Go to our channel, and I've got over 60 videos there at this point. Take a look through there. If you like it, subscribe and help me do more videos like this. So economy of time. Economy of time is an old fly fishing concept. It's been around for a really, really long time. And what it basically is the economy of time says that you should be spending all your time fishing the most productive sections of the river. If you're not doing that, then you're stealing from time or your time on the river. So an example, if I leave here at noon and I tell my wife I'll be back by 4, and it's a 45-minute drive there and a 45-minute drive back, and then I sit there at the back of the truck and I'm gearing up, put my waders on, string up my rod, do all that stuff, and I walk down to the river 20 minutes later. Well, I've just taken 20 minutes from that 4 hours. In a really bad situation, the section of the river I chose is not fishing well at all. So if I'm down there for another 30 minutes and not catching any fish, economy of time dictates that I move to a section of the river where the fish live. And there's another way of looking at it is the old Boy Scout motto, be prepared. And I remember a quote from a guy by the name of Brett Bishop. He was probably former captain of the U.S. fly fishing team. This is back in 2012. I quote him as saying, you need to be fishing water where there's fish. And that's the key principle in our fly fishing team. You have to pick water that has fish. So when we talk about economy time, there's two parts of that. One is you got to be prepared when you get to the water. And you got to have your rod ready. You got to be ready to go. You've done some research ahead of time. You know what hatches may be going on the river. You got some flies picked out. You've done some planning. And when you arrive at that river, you're ready to go. Case in point, I was fly fishing with a gentleman this summer, and it was nice and warm out, and we rolled up on the river, and I got out of the truck, grabbed my rod, and he was still just getting his rod tube out of the truck. And I said, I'll see you down at the river. And I walk right down to the river, waded in. 25 minutes later, he shows up, and I've already caught 3 fish. That's a good example of economy of time. We need to read the water, where the fish live, where they don't live. We don't want to fish any flat water. We want to fish where our river where we see seams and moving water. That's where trout really like to be. They don't really like to be in that flat water where they can get picked off by birds. There's no depth. They don't have sunglasses. They can't see. Food sinks to the bottom. It's scary. It's shallow. And get eaten by otters. Where they really like to be are along seams, and a seam is where fast water and slow water meet, tail outs, pocket water, and such. So you got to read the water because that's important. You have to pick water that has the right habitat for trout, and then begin to fish there. Obviously, if you see fish rising or feeding on the surface, it's a whole nother story. They're right there. But economy of time is 2 parts: putting yourself in position to catch fish on the water. The second part is to be ready. Be ready as soon as you get out of the truck. And there's ways and tips how you do that. Okay, we talked about being ready, and a couple of things you can do, or some ideas or tips that you can have, is how you carry your rods from your home to the river. I tend to do, I have a shotgun case here, which are 2 tubes. You can do it with a single tube, which is this one right here. But if you notice, there is no lining in here. I've taken the lining out because I'm sliding hooks in there. So when I do get to the river, I can pick the rod that I want to use, like this, and it's already got the fly on it, and I'm all ready to just put it together and go fish. So how I would do that is I would take the fly off and just let it float. And then take the rod, make sure that I got I'm not wrapped around any guides, and I would just put it together right there. Strip my fly down, like I have right here. Pull out some line. Come back to right here. Set my fly at this guide, bring it down, so I have a loop, goes around the reel, straighten the reel, and now I'm walking down to the river. Get to the river, I can just take it off and start fishing. That took all of 30 seconds, but this is a way of being at the river, immediately there, got my rod out, I got a fly on already. Now, if that's not the fly I want to choose when I get to the river, I can do it down at the river. Now, on the way back, I can just set this in the T-bar. I can set it up on my window, or if I have to, I can put it in the rod locker. We do have rod lockers. If you look right here, you'll see a rod locker right here. The rod locker is where you keep all your rods with flies on, safe and sound, ready for you wherever you show up. But I don't like to use it if I'm moving down the river. So that's as easy as that. So at home, I would have my rod like this. I would just do the opposite, take the fly. I would put it right on the hook keeper and just reel it tight. Just like that. And I'd come up here and break it right above there. If you have a 4-piece, that's okay. Just break it right at the middle section. Okay, then I would hold that in my hand and reel in tight. So everything's tight. Put the two together. Slide it into my rod tube. And I'm good to go. If you can't, cheap way to do it is just take a piece of PVC, cut a notch out, the rod slides in there, and you can travel and not worry about your rod breaking. If you do buy one at the store, like this one's fairly new, it's going to have a nylon insert. These things just peels back like a banana peel. It's about to right here, and you just rip off that nylon, take it out. It's for traveling and not storing, and you're ready to go. On the hood, I just use these. When I get up the river, I want to move down the road, I just pop them on here and drive down the road. We're ready to go. So there's a lot of ways that you personally can tailor your own way of doing things. This is just how I do it. And in the long run, it's going to make it easier for you when you get right there at the river. Mistakes. We can make mistakes at this game of fly fishing in so many ways that I can't count them all. But in terms of economy time, some of the mistakes I see guys make are wasting too much time at the truck, putting their stuff away, taking off their stuff, putting their rod in a way that it won't break, getting in the truck, driving down the next hole, get out, get their stuff all back on again, grab their rod, maybe change flies. That's stealing time away from your time on the water. Another mistake I see guys make in terms of economy time is you spend too much time fishing in one spot. You go down there, you're there for 30 minutes just nymphing that one place over and over again. You got to set a time limit. I mean, I know guys that'll spend an hour and a half on just one little tail out and not catch any fish. On the same token, if you're really smart, you can set a time limit. Say, well, I'm going to give this a really good shot. I'm going to be down here, and after 15, 20 minutes, I'm back to the truck and down to the next hole. You can fish 3 or 4 different sections of water while this guy is still fishing that one section. And economy time dictates that you search out and spend all your time fishing the most productive active sections of the river. So please, if you like this video, subscribe. We'll keep more coming your way. For all you young fishermen, new fishermen, or guys that are just starting out in fly fishing, I hope this helps you. And for old hobos like me, hopefully you can pull a nugget or two out of this. And if I'm lucky, I'll see you on the river.